I don't cry when it rains no more, or I get dirt on my shoes. I don't mind climbing 8 more floors, 'cause these stairs are all heading to you. I don't wait for tomorrow's sunshine when I feel it today. But when it's cold in the dead of winter, remember that snow melts away. One more cold drink, one more roll, one more dance before the doors get closed. Please remember, enjoy the show. Let's get happy before we get old. We don't need plans or a fancy agenda. Well, let's just see where it goes. We got no care for the way people stare at the dust and the dirt on our clothes. Hey, my friend, we'll never say
Hey, everybody, come on into the Cajun cooking experience. Where you at, Darren? Man, we got to go with tonight. Look, it's summertime. Eggplant are coming out. We got eggplant, okra, two of my favorite things that are coming out right now. So I decided to do a little eggplant with some andouille, some shrimp, and a little deer sausage. Can't beat it. What'd you say, Roy? So it's something I just have on beef for right now. And exactly 1 year ago, I cooked the same thing on the show. So it shows you what time of the season these things come in. Now, what I've done, if you see right here, I've got all these different eggplant that I've put in. I like to mix them up. Most of the eggplant I won't peel unless they're really tough. I won't even peel the eggplant. So that's something that, because the peelings are where they have a lot of nutrition at. So I try to hold on to as much nutrition as I can. Now, one of the things you do with eggplant before you use them, about hour, half hour to an hour before you're going to use them, soak them in water, but put some salt in that water. What the salt's going to do, it's going to pull moisture out of those eggplant and then close up the pores so that it doesn't suck up grease. Because eggplants are like a sponge. If you don't do that, if you don't do what I'm telling you, man, you're going to have them things soggy, especially if you frying those eggplant, they will just suck up the grease. So be sure you do that. Well, yeah, but Dr. McGee, Roland, what's up, Hollywood? Watching from Hot Springs, Arkansas. Go ahead, brother. Now, what we're going to start this eggplant with, we'll start a little butter tonight. Love butter with my vegetables. And I said butter. I didn't say margarine. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with some onions. And I'm going to bring a lot of onions in here. And I'm also going to bring some long dewey in. Like the old people just saying, I get that long dewey. And I'm going to kick that fire up. And one thing about butter, you have to be a little careful. What you don't want to do is you don't want to put too high of heat on that butter because it'll break down and it'll burn. So you want to make sure you control your temperature on this. Especially if one of them big stoves like I have in the back, you better be cool with it. All right, we'll get this started. One thing about I like cooking butter. It's kind of like bacon. You have this special smell in the area. Like your whole the kitchen just has this sweet smell of butter. It's awesome. And you know, eggplant. The earliest mention of eggplant was in 59 BC in China. That's the earliest documentation they can find of eggplant. Now they didn't domesticate it. And not until years and years later that they domesticated. And what it started as, kind of started as a white, like about this size. It wasn't very big, and it was shaped like an egg. That's how I got the name eggplant. Now, there's all different colors of eggplant. White one, I just remember Mr. Russell email coming here, him and my dad had gone in the back and frying those eggplant. They were real tender, and he would soak that in water and make sure that those pores closed up in it so that when he hit that grease, it wasn't sucking up the grease, and it really did a good job. Daddy would batter that eggplant. Man, they deep fried in my fries back there. Man, that was some good stuff. Now, some of the Asian cultures back there in the fifth century, they didn't just use eggplant for cooking. The women would actually use it to create a metallic black tooth dye. So I found that was interesting. And that must have been like something cool. Like, the women had to have some of their teeth dyed black. I don't know. And you go back in history, they had so many different uses of food and things that they did with it, different than we do now. And I'm sure 100 years from now, they'll be talking about us. Hell, they won't even be cooking 100 years from now. They'll just snap their finger and they'll have something prepared. And the term eggplant comes from the British colonized India because it was a small white egg-shaped plant at the time. So that's how I got that name, eggplant. What'd you say, Lucy? All right. Man, this is good. This is good stuff. Right here, undoing onions. Hell, I can make a meal just out of this. All right. And this was an interesting eggplant. And most of these came from my buddy Dwayne Shexnard. He brought them over to me yesterday. I love this one. I had a gold eggplant with heavy little LSU color in here. What's up, Brian? Oh, Happy Jack, what's happening, brother? Okay. And I got my fire turned up all the way. But you got this thing rolling. One thing I like about these little burners, I can control it real easy. Creed, ice water out the faucet. Creed, I just use mine with out the faucet so I can mix that salt in good. If you want to put a little ice water, you can. Either way, it's not going to matter. I just use room temperature water. And what I do is, Tim. What I do is when I cut them, I let water run in it, just a trickle of water, so that as I'm cutting them, the water's flushing them. It's flushing out, so I don't, because if you ever notice, you soak eggplant, and when you dump them, that water's going to be really, really yellow. So I let's let that water run. But once I have them soaking, that's it. I cut out the running water. It's all good, brother. All right. Now I'm gonna go ahead and throw these celery in. All these things that take a little long to cook. That's what I like to put in first. Because I'm getting ready to throw that meat in here. Little lemon juice. Okay, Roland said throw a little lemon juice in it. Kind of like when you're doing okra, get the slime out, a little acid. A little acid will work. Thank you, Roland. I never thought about that, but that's a good one. Oh, man. Now, cook this down a little bit more. Then we're going to bring our ground meat in. Deer sausage, I should say. Now, one thing about this meat is seasoned. So I have to be really careful when I come back to season this, when I season this up. I've got to taste it first before I actually start adding salt. I'll better add a little pepper to it. I'll be okay with the piquant. I'm going to go ahead and bring my bell peppers in. Now, what vegetables you want to put when you're cooking your eggplant? Man, that's up to you. If you rather the Black Beauty, that's what I call a Black Beauty. If that's the one you rather, then use it. If you like some people like the long green ones, use it. Use the one that you like. One thing about this one, if it gets too big, it's going to get bitter. And most eggplanters do that. But this Black Beauty like this, that's the one you got to be careful with. I like to pick those young. And one thing Dwayne told me, he picks them young, he doesn't let them get old in the bush. Oh, Donna. One bullshit to another. I'm going to keep it rolling, brother. Do you make your own deer sausage? Yes, sir, I do, Roy. I make all my own sausage. I will not buy sausage out the store, never. If I go to your house, I'm going to ask you what kind of sausage you're eating. You're cooking, because I may not eat it. I'll eat the dish, but I may not eat the sausage. I read too many labels. And the guy, when I bought this place in Mr. Peanut Falls, one of the things he told me, he said, I'm going to teach you how to make your own sausage. And I'm going to teach you how to make your own and do it and all. And the things I'm going to show you with meat, what's going to happen is, though, downside is you're never going to eat it out the store again. Boy, was he right. Oh, Charmaine, what's happening, baby? Oh, Kim. Okay. Man, with this little smoked meat in here and these vegetables and that butter. Man, it's smelling good in here. All right. We'll go ahead and take a peek in that pot after I take a little drink of that Modelo. See all them colors we got working in there? Now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna go ahead and bring that ground meat in. Bring that deer sausage in. All right. I gotta hold this pot. You gotta let this break up in here and let this cook. I want this to cook way ahead. And look, there's a lot of flavor in this deer sausage. That's another reason I want to put it in ahead of time. And you want to give it time to cook. Get in there early. You notice I'm bringing a lot of this stuff in before you even think about putting my eggplant in. Now the eggplant, it's going to throw some water, so we have to be careful how much liquid we put in. Sorry for the noise, but we got to chop this stuff up. So, man, we're cooking a little smothered eggplant with some deer sausage, andouille, and a little shrimp. The more things I can put in here, the better. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed, but down on the bottom left hand of the screen, under my name, Spuddy, there's what we cooking. It's something I just found about 10 minutes before we went on the show, how to do that. So that way it always stays as a mark on the page, on the screen of what we're cooking. Always looking for ways to make improvements. Lucy, you got Mardi Gras going on in the pot. Don't be some mister. Go ahead, Lucy. Oh, Heather. Hey, Papa. That looks good. Bring us some love, Graham, and Olive. All right. Heather, my daughter, is over there by her sister Mandy with the two grandsons, Oliver and Graham. So let's give a shout out to Oliver and Graham. What you say, buddies? I told Graham I would call his name on TV. Little Mardi Gras in the pot. Let's go in that pot and see some Mardi Gras. Throw me something different. All right. And the thing about it, so if I just made this deer sausage, or if I just ground it, I wouldn't have to take it and beat the hell out of it. But because it's been vacuum packed and it gets jammed in that pack, you've got to chop it, or it's gonna have little chunks, which I don't mind. I'm not gonna kill it and just try to make it like a fine ground meat. But you got to keep working it because you're gonna have some big chunks in there. So I want to knock them down to a decent size. Donna, Mr. Peanut, remember the name. What did he do other than cook? Donna, he had a meat market, false meat market. Mr. Peanut was one of them old-time real butchers. Took the half a cow, took the whole cow. They would tell me stories of taking a whole cow, get it, hang it in a tree, butcher it, go sell a hide and whatever else they could do, and then use everything off that cow, sell everything. What'd you say, Mildred? Oh, Dino. All right. How we got this thing working? You got that bread ready? You see it, brother? Gotta have the fresh bread ready. Now, you can, like when I eat smothered eggplant, I really don't want to put it over rice or anything. But a lot of people take smothered eggplant, they'll put it over rice. You can make a sandwich with it if you want. You can use it as a side dish. You can use it as a main dish. You've got so many choices. I like to just eat it like it is, okay? Because I'm not going to ruin it with some rice. And I shouldn't use the word ruin it, but I want to taste eggplant. I want to taste everything in this pot. I don't want it, I just don't want rice with it. But that's your personal thing. It's your thing to do what you want to do, baby. Now, when this eggplant, when it made it to Europe, oh, Harvey, man, I know you can smell it from here, brother. What's happening, my brother? Do you add beef or beef fat when you make your fresh sausage? Kim, beef and pork. I never add beef fat. Number one is just, it's hard to find a good beef fat. You have to make sure, if I'm going to use beef fat, I'm going to buy some fatty beef that I'm going to trim my own off. I'm not going to trust somebody else to give it to me. That's just me. So I'm going to use pork and like a Boston butt to make it with my deer meat. Happy Jack, use the stuffed bell peppers? Hell yeah, brother. I'll get ready to say, man, look, this is awesome. You take eggplant and maybe cook it with some zucchini and go ahead and stuff you some bell peppers with it. Oh, and you'll make it with the ground meat and the shrimp and all. Awesome. Out the box, dude. But eggplant wasn't always accepted. You go back and you go back to Europe and in the early days, and because it was a nightshade, they were scared of it. They thought it was poisonous. And they figured that it made people insane. They dubbed it mala insania, or crazy apple. That's what they call it, the crazy apple. And they feared that they would induce insanity. In the 13th century, the Italian folklore said eggplant actually caused insanity. What I see out there in the world, they must be eating a lot of eggplant. All right. Man, let's take a little peek in that pot. This thing is looking good. See how our beef is coming along real good? And you can see the juices that this beef is putting out, some really good juices, which is really going to give us some good flavor. I made some one time with pork and beef fat from a brisket. Flavor was awesome. Okay, Kim, that's totally different. One time somebody told me you take a sirloin. You know, sirloin is very lean, and the sirloin is going to be tough. And you get your brisket. I don't think damn thing brisket's costing more than the sirloin right now. But you need the brisket with the fat cap on it. You want the whole thing. You mix that together, make you the best hamburgers in the world. And I did it. Best hamburger I ever ate. And that beef fat from that brisket was what made it. Like I said, I have to know where the fat's coming from, and I have to know what piece of meat is going to come. Because I don't want that. That's just something I just don't want it. It'll give it a bitter taste. But that brisket, you can't go wrong. Now, if I want to make me some really good hamburgers, Kim, I would still do that. I would just spend the money and go ahead and do it because I'd want some really quality stuff. Hamburgers, hamburger steak, all that would be good like that. One of the shows coming up soon, we're actually going to make some hamburgers, some homemade hamburgers. So tune in. We might make it that way. And what we're going to do, we're going to make not only how to make homemade hamburgers, but also the hamburger steaks, and make the gravy, the mushroom gravy, to go ahead and for our hamburger steak. That's going to be a good one. Because I refuse to buy powdered gravy for hamburger steaks or this gravy in the can. I refuse to use it. It's too easy to make your own. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and put my shrimp in. And it's a little early for the shrimp. I don't care if they really cook a lot in here. It's not gonna be bad, but if I put them in too late, they're not going to have enough time to cook. This is one of the few dishes I'll go ahead and throw the shrimp in early. And that right there is definitely a personal preference. So, like I said, the Italian 13th century, it had a folklore going that eggplant caused insanity. But in the 19th century in Egypt, insanity was said to be more common, and people were more violent when eggplant was in season in the summer. I think it was just the damn heat, but they blamed it on the eggplant. You know, when it's 100 degrees out there, people get mean. Go tell somebody 100 degrees, tell man, have a good day. What the hell is good about it? It's hot as hell out here. So, let's go down and take another peek in that pot. You can see the shrimp mixing in with it. You really do have a little Mardi Gras going on in this pot. It looked like told me something mystic, like serious. Now, Who's the first one to bring eggplant to America? Thomas Jefferson. A lot of things people don't know about Thomas Jefferson. He brought a lot of stuff over to the United States. Every time he go overseas, he brings something new. It was just something about him. He liked to have new things. He liked to try new things. Ah, man, that's good. But when it first got here, even the Americans, they were kind of leery about it. They looked at it as an ornamental thing more than a food. It wasn't really until the 20th century that eggplant started becoming widely accepted as a food source. And you see that a lot. When food was introduced somewhere, a different kind of food, different kind of plant, you see that people use it, they were scared of it, or they thought it was just an ornament like okra. They used to pick it just for the flowers because it made a beautiful flower. And once they realize it's good to eat, and it's all right. Okay, now we get ready to put that eggplant in. Ooh, man, that smelling the shrimp in there. Holy cow. Now, one thing about this dish right here, I want you to think about it. A lot of people, especially as we get older, we need more protein. And it's hard to get the amount of protein that you need. This dish right here with the deer sausage, the shrimp, the andouille, the eggplant, it's going to be easy. This is a high protein, I would call it a high healthy dish because it's got everything you need in this dish. I'm gonna throw a little hot sauce in here. Got to give it some of that Louisiana loving. I would give it some crystal loving, but I'm out of it. Okay, now I want to bring my eggplant in. Now we're rolling. And you can see, I'll leave the peelings on it. That's definitely a personal preference. If you don't like that, peel them, knock your lights out. That doesn't bother me. And the thing about it, when you put them in the pot, it looks like so much. And when it cooks down, you go, where in the hell all this went? Got to be feeding all the Asher with that food. But Kim, they got that big thing called the freezer, bro. That's what I'm going to put it in. Them little plastic containers are awesome. I'll take this and put it in the cooler tonight, in a big container, and I'll dish it out tomorrow. Man, it's just so, like anytime I'm looking for something to eat, I got a freezer full of stuff that cook on this show. It's cool. And I do have to send it to some people that gave me the eggplant. Okay. Now, once we get that sucker rolling again, this eggplant's gonna start settling down. So like I said, it's a very healthy dish. It's good for the heart, the brain, the gut. The gut because it has so much fiber in it. And that's another thing we lack in our diets, especially as we get older. It's hard to get that fiber that we need. So with this kind of dish right here, our vegetables, our natural vegetables we pick out the garden, this is what you want. And the only thing that eggplant, the only people this would be bad for is if you had where you couldn't, you had like you can't eat nightshades. Then you definitely want to stay away from this because it can hurt you. Now, also, don't eat them raw. If you want bad stomach ache, you want a stomach that the gastro system to tear you up, man, whatever you do, don't eat this thing raw. Because it's going to talk to you. Oh, yeah, we got a nice little liquid at the bottom. And once this thing gets rolling, it's starting to settle down already. But once I get this thing boiling, it's just going to cook pretty fast. Now, some people, they'll tell you, I don't like mixing all this stuff up. I get my eggplant, Item number one, I have to peel them, or I'm not going to mix all the different color eggplants, so I'm not going to mix meat and shrimp and all that. It's your thing to do what you want to do. Cook it your way. This is just one way of cooking it. I like the mixture of all this stuff, but cook it your way. I'll tell you this, if you're going to use ground meat, try to get you some really lean ground meat, a 90-10 mixture, 85-15, something like that. I'm going to tell you why. If you use 80-20, especially 70-30, I don't even call that ground beef. I call that ground grease. You're going to get a lot of grease floating in here. So be careful with the ground meat that you buy to use in here. And if you want to grind your own, good sirloin roast, a good sirloin, top sirloin, it's going to be really, really well. You can use a chuck. It's going to be a little fatty, but a chuck will work good in here. Kim, love it fried with breadcrumbs. Oh, hell yeah, brother. But if you're going to fry it, make sure you salt it first. If not, it's going to suck up that grease. That's what's bad about eggplant. These things are little sponges. So make sure that you salt it first so you can close those pores. It's going to pull the water out, and the pores of those eggplant are going to close up. Watching you make this, since okra is seasoned, need to make myself some stewed okra with tomatoes, shrimp, and sausage. Oh, hell yeah. So one of the things I like, okra with tomatoes, the reason why they go well together, that tomatoes cuts the slime. But that stewed okra with the tomatoes, the shrimp and tomato, the okra and tomato and shrimp and sausage, you ain't gonna beat that. I have a bag of, somebody gave me a bag, a big Ziploc bag full of okra. We might be cooking that on the show soon too. Because I get a lot of questions about the slime in okra, how you get it out. That's why I'll answer people's questions and I'll tell them, tune in, watch the show. It's an easy trick, but that's the number one question I get about okra. How do you get the slime out? I don't like it because of the slime. Ryan, eggplant and shrimp. There you go. Okay. Now we're starting to get a little ball going. And I'm gonna pull you down in that pot. You'll be able to see the liquid that it's throwing. Y'all can see down there? It's throwing a lot of liquid so far. You see it? Fried eggplant with powdered sugar on top. Jason, I have to say I've never heard of that one, but I'll be damned if I wouldn't eat it. If I'm gonna put the powdered sugar, I just soon put a little steamed syrup on it too. Also heard that adding a teaspoon of vinegar to the okra when it takes a slime out. Yes. You put like a tablespoon of vinegar in your pot, or if you have a lot of okra, 2 tablespoons, don't do more than that because it will overpower it. But it's the acid. So vinegar, if I have okra and I want to smother it to put it in the freezer, and I'm going to use in my gumbos and all, I don't want to add tomatoes to it because I may want to make a gumbo. So what I'll do is I'll get the slime out by using vinegar. But if I want to eat it, use it to eat, I'm going to put my tomatoes in it because I love okra with the tomatoes in it. Jason, Mama Verna did that. Yeah, the reason why Mama Verna did that because she was watching all those kids, and she knew the only way she gonna make them kids eat that eggplant was to put that powdered sugar on it. Which made all the sense in the world, Jason. That's the tricks that they use. All right. I'm just gonna try to keep it moving. I don't want anything sticking in the bottom of this pot. Now, something else, when you put the salt and we put in the salt water before it cook, other things that it does, it improves the texture. Because remember, salt's gonna tighten it up. So it'll give it a nice texture. It reduces the bitterness. That salt will help reduce the bitterness. And it's also gonna reduce the cooking time because you've gotten a lot of water out of there. And that's why that's gonna help. So that's other reason why you're soaking in salt. Oh yeah, Jason, think about it. It gotta make sense. And if she probably didn't tell the kids they were eating eggplant with powdered sugar, she probably called them little donuts or something. All right. He's getting me hungry. So now we got our water boiling a little bit. I don't know if you can see it in here. I'm gonna bring the top down. See our water starting to boil. You see how much water? Water's almost to the level with this eggplant. This is how much water this eggplant is thrown. It's thrown out. I've got my stock over here, my chicken base, my chicken stock. I haven't used a piece of it. There was no reason to use it tonight. Now, one of the things I could have done, if I wanted to, when I was doing my onions, I could have thrown a little flour in there and let it, there's maybe a tablespoon of flour, 2 tablespoons of flour, and let it fry at the bottom of that pot, and it made like a little roux, and it helped thicken this gravy, make it a little gravy. That would have been good also. I do that with my okra, and it does help. It adds a little extra flavor. Oh, man. Now, if you wanted to, this pot right here, if I say I'm pushed for time, I've done the hard part. I could actually cover this pot with aluminum foil, put it in the oven at 350, and about every 20 minutes, check it. And it'll actually just cook by itself. As long as you keep this moisture in here, you're going to be all right. That's just one way to do it in case you're in a jam. I've done it before with different foods, but it's more fun just to sit over the pot. Darren, when smothered okra with shrimp and spud is on do it, use salsa as a tomato flavor and get very little slime. Okay, there you go. That salsa's got the it's got that acid in it. It's gonna bust down, it's gonna bust up that slime. And you're right. And Darren, I never thought about using salsa. Man, that's gotta be really good in them okra. Happy Jack says she told the kids pepper I do. You're probably right. And they ate it because it was good and Nerna cooked it. Now I'm gonna take a dip of that gravy. Woo, man. Yeah. This thing making a good gravy. I see why I put the shrimp in there early. Now remember, the shrimp threw a little water too. Eggplant throwing a little water. Look how much this is going down. So a while ago, somebody said, man, you're feeding all of Asher. Look how much this is going down though. Ooh. And because that deer sausage has got some good seasoning in it, I'm actually picking up like a good flavor in that gravy. So this is not going to take a lot of seasoning in it. Be careful with it. You don't want to put too much salt. You bring too much salt in here. Remember, I soaked in salt water too. If you bring too much salt tomorrow, you're not going to be able to eat it. I will bring a little black pepper in here. A little touch of red pepper. Not a lot. And y'all know we got to show our cane farmers a little loving. The sugar cane looking so good out there. Got to give our cane farmers a little loving tonight. Oh, man. Now we can take a look in the bottom of that pot. And you can see all the little eggplant seeds starting to bust out of there. Now they're starting to get tender. When you start seeing these seeds bust out, and that's when I know eggplant is getting right. Seasoned deer ground meat and eggplant casserole. Hey, nothing to turn this thing into a casserole, brother. Put this in a casserole dish, lay a little butter on the top with some breadcrumbs. Holy cow. So many things you can do with this. Now, let's get a little taste. Number one, we'll check our eggplant out, see how they're coming along, and get a little taste for seasoning. That's my deer sausage. Ooh. Ooh-wee. Eggplant's getting very tender already. Now, it's got a lot of moisture in it. I'm not scared to pick it up with a lot of this moisture in it. It's going to keep it moist so when you get ready to eat it, it's not going to dry out. So you want it a little wet when you're going to save it, especially if you're going to save it in individual containers and freeze them. Don't cook all the water out if you can, or keep a little bit in there so you can keep it moist. Mm-mm-mm. Is that a little crab boil? No. Rolling. Apple cider vinegar. Mm-mm. Ooh. Yeah. This thing is getting right. This eggplant is almost cooked already. But since you said, Roland, since you said something about a little crab ball, a little touch of crab ball would go pretty good in here. So many things you can do with this. What I like about it, you can make it as a side dish for your main meal. Perfect. Instead of a salad, you got some smothered okra on the side. Oh. Got to get some of this juice in there. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Oh. This thing is, damn, this is good. It's really, really hard to mess up eggplant. It really is. The only way you can mess it up, if you put some bad meat in it, you have a ground meat that, if you use ground meat that has a lot of grease in it, something like that, that's the only way you're going to mess this up. Mm-mm-mm. Holy cow. So I'm going to take this bread. I've got to do this. I can tell y'all right now, this is going to be good. Have to let it cool off a little bit. That's going to be a good sandwich. But in the meantime, all right. Now we've been on for 38 minutes. From scratch, this pot is just about done. But it doesn't take long. Just remember, a lot in the pot is going to be a little bit to serve. Heard it here from the Spud Man first. Oh, man. This is one hell of a sandwich. I know ya. I mean, I don't think it is. Y'all got to try it. Mm-mm-mm. It's hot. I got my nose running. But damn, is this good. Mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, y'all. This eggplant dish is actually done. Starting to get a little bit stick to the bottom of the pot. That's what you got to be careful. I can lower that fire. All right. This is when you want to slow roll it. This is your smothered eggplant, under 40 minutes. Smothered eggplant, under 40 minutes. And if you don't peel them, all right, add a little stuff on my face there. So if you don't peel them, I came in, I started cutting this up at I had them washed in water. I didn't start cutting this eggplant up to 4 o'clock. Didn't take long. And even if you peel them, it doesn't take long. But just using them, keeping the peelings on them, 20 minutes, I had them cut up, soaking in salt. Let them soak for an hour. Went and dumped the water out. I was ready for my show. So, man, I thank y'all for watching me tonight. This is a really good dish. Get your eggplant on, because it's well worth it. And you don't grow it. You don't have a good friend that has it in the garden. Because the people have gardens, they usually have too much of this, and they're looking to give it away. It's my kind of people. And I thank Dwayne tonight for donating a lot of this eggplant, because he made a little special trip over here to deliver it to me. So I got to put him a dish down the side tonight. But this is different colors, different styles, different fashion. Mix them together, and they're all good. So thank y'all so much. We'll be back next week. If I'm not on papa duty again. And I don't know what I'm cooking, but we're sure going to think of something. Thank y'all. God bless y'all. And we're going to see y'all next week.
Don't get me wrong, I love my life. These concrete walls, these city lights. What I'm about to say, it won't make no sense, but I gotta get it off my chest.